What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Monday, happy start of the week. Hope you're all well, hope you all had a great weekend. Arsenal still riding high, top of the Premier League. Long may it continue, and obviously let's hope we can win this Premier League title, but a long way to go, that is for sure. I did watch the boxing last night. Even though I've said many times it's a bit of a farce, but hey, we still had to tune in and watch. I don't think it was a great fight. It was all right considering, a YouTuber against a boxer. In the end, obviously, Fury won the fight. Quite unconvincing. I think really he should have knocked Jake Paul out, but he wasn't able to do it. It is what it is. They'll do a rematch. Great marketing. Let's just put it that way. It was great marketing because that had more hype around it than some world title fights. So, hey, fair play to them. The game is the game, people. And before we get into today's show, a few of you have put comments in there about Stephen Featley. Rest in peace. He's passed away. He's an Arsenal fan. He had a YouTube channel. He's actually commented on this channel a few times. So obviously thoughts go out to him and his family. Terrible news, a fellow Gooner as well. And very sad news. So obviously thoughts go out to him and his family and his friends at this sad time. And obviously, yeah, man, he commented on the channel a few times. I haven't had him in the comments for a while, but yeah, I always appreciated his support in the comments. So obviously thoughts go out to him and his family. Thank you, Craig, for reminding me of that. Beresford production, Newcastle Hotspur, because A, the trophy drought, and B, there's only one United. Manchester United beating Newcastle yesterday in the Carabao Cup final. I thought Newcastle was shocking. We did a watch along for it. And yeah, they got to be waking up this morning, Newcastle, thinking, what an opportunity to fight in a cup final. And they just didn't turn up. They did not turn up. And Man United deserved it. It's led to a bit of debate, actually. A lot of people saying now that Arsenal are too... How can I say it? People are saying that Arsenal allow themselves to go out of competitions too easily. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans giving it to United fans. Mickey Mouse Cup, blah, blah, blah. And I understand it. The game is the game. If Arsenal win the Carabao Cup, it's a giant of a trophy. If somebody else wins it, you know, it's a glorified energy drink competition and we're not interested in it. But I would like to see Arsenal, especially now with this Europa League, I would love to see Arsenal really try and win that. I think, unless you're Man City over the last few years, I don't think anybody is in a position to just throw trophies away. You know, you don't forget those days as a fan, winning trophies, going to Wembley, great moments, great memories. It keeps players interested as well. So I think as Arsenal develop, I know that, listen, the Carabao Cup is not the trophy that we want to win. You know, it's the Fizzy Cup, as Smart Cookie said. But I would love to see us win that Europa League and obviously the Premier League. So, yeah, FA Cup clear of the EFL. I agree. I agree with that. Anyway, it is Monday and you know what Monday is. I saw Anthony put it in the comments. But of course, it's Monday. It's Arsenal. And that can only mean one thing. It is Merch Monday, people. You thought they were going to let us get away with beating Leicester. Don't go anywhere. Of course, there's new merch on the way. This isn't actually out yet. This is one that is on the way. It's a half and half t-shirt. Apparently, the colour is based on Arsenal's away and third kits. Obviously, I think our natural away kit colour is the yellow. And obviously, the third kit has often been blue. So they've done a half blue, half yellow kind of... At this point, listen, Adidas for me are... I think they're a brilliant company. Probably Nike. I would rather Arsenal were with Nike, I'm going to be honest. Just because I prefer Nike as a brand and we had glory days in Nike kits. So I do love Nike. But sometimes with Adidas, I'm convinced that somebody is just sitting in front of a computer. You know when you used to be in school And on the computer, I don't know about your school anyway, we couldn't get on the internet unless they would, like, change the settings, because people would just be chilling on the internet during the lesson. So all we had really was solitaire or paint. So I'd just go on paint and probably draw something, or solitaire and play cards. I'm convinced that Adidas, maybe they don't have the internet in the office, because I think somebody is just going on paint and just picking random colours and just throwing them on there and saying, yeah, release that on Monday. They won at the weekend, they'll all be up for it. Because, I don't know, a bit more creativity, a bit more invention. The designers moving like Newcastle's performance yesterday, very rigid and not trying to do anything in particular. People saying it's the Ukraine colours, that could be the reason. It looks all right, I can't lie, but I would love to see a little bit more to it than that. Like, Photoshop tutorials, man, just plain boring. But listen, we're winning games. I'm questioning it now, but if they beat Man City on the weekend and I roll into the Armoury and that's standing on the shelf, I'm vulnerable. I can't lie. I'd be vulnerable, people. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, do a little bit more. Do something a little bit different. But cut and paste in paint. Nothing beats 10, 11 Nike home kit in 2014 away. Training kit, the Lundberg edition. Could be Sweden-based. DV said this is fire. It'll look better when a player is wearing it. Very basic and boring. Yeah, it is what it is. It's not bad. It's not bad, but very simple creativity, that is for sure, people. Arsenal gets Curtis all the time. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm going to be down at the Emirates today, actually, doing a bit of filming. 1-0 against Leicester. Does that get me in the Armoury? I might pass by and have a look, but we'll see. We'll see. If we win the title, as I said, people, the next stream after that, I'll probably look like Ty. I'll have the headphones, the hat, the socks, the cufflinks, the water bottle. I will be extremely weak if they win the title. It is what it is. I miss making my footy boots on Nike ID in class and never buying them. I can relate, bro. I think we spoke about this on another show, man. How many times did you go on the Nike website, build your own Nike football boots, and then just leave them in the basket? Some of you may have grown up a little bit better than me. Maybe you were fortunate enough you could buy them. I designed them, took pictures of them, and then pressed X on the corner and closed that page down. It was painful. I can't lie. It was painful. Anyway, let's move on. Taiwo Shaw, for real. Jorginho on the green screen. Listen, if we win the title, anything can happen, people. Right. Let's just quickly look back. I'm not going to go on too much about this game, because I'll be honest, it wasn't the most exciting of games, but it was all about 3-point collecting. And we did our job. Leicester 0, Arsenal 1. 46th minute goal from Gabriel Martinelli. Anybody who was in the stream on Saturday, the watch along, I literally spent 5 minutes at half time talking about how Martinelli needed to improve his performance, how he was playing like a headless chicken, how he just puts his head down and runs and doesn't play sometimes with intelligence. And I think 80 seconds into the second half, opens up his body, little Thierry Henry side foot finish into the bottom corner. Commentator's curse. I would like to say that it was, I was trying to get in his mind and, reverse psychology. But a brilliant goal in the end. And interestingly enough, funnily enough, Gabriel Martinelli is now joint top goal scorer for Arsenal, 9 Premier League goals, which is interesting, isn't it, really, when you think since the World Cup or since the beginning of February, we've been saying that he's hasn't been as effective. Now, let's talk about this game in a little bit more detail. Quickly skip through the player ratings, and we'll just discuss what you guys think. One shot on goal from Leicester City. I mean, that, I'm going to be honest, I don't want to take anything away from Arsenal, because winning games is vital. Oh yeah, if we win, I'll definitely be vlogging the parade. That is one of the worst Leicester performances I've ever seen at their ground against us. 9 times out of 10, when we go to that stadium, it's difficult. I remember us getting battered there one year, 3-0, when I went to watch, and I was fuming. Vardy always used to cause us problems, but they were terrible. They were scared of us. I think the Man United victory over Leicester last weekend it changed their thought process. Because against United, they were defending high up. And it was just one ball over the top. Rashford was just ripping them apart. Against us, they did the complete opposite. They had 10 players on the edge of the box. Iheanacho was at the top of the field by himself. They weren't interested in scoring. I think they played for a 0-0. And in the end, I think we should have beat them by more. We didn't create that many clear-cut chances. But that was a horrendous performance from Leicester. 0.01 on the XG, people. I mean, they could have been there. They could have been playing now. They wouldn't have scored. One shot off target, none on target. They were horrible. They stunk out the gaff. But I don't mind. Arsenal, 10 shots, 2 on target, 66% possession. Nearly double the amount of passes. 1-0, job done. Let's keep it moving. It's not a game I'll be watching the highlights for. And I did not watch the game on replay. Let's concentrate on us. Listen, I want to give Mikel Arteta some credit. I want to give him some credit because he's making changes that I think we as fans are seeing. And he's starting to do it. Not saying that fans, we know more than the manager, but sometimes things are blatant. And he's now starting to do it. Don said, Curtis, I'm 33, too old for XGS. What does it mean? Well, expected goals. Listen, it's a stat that I don't pay any attention to be honest. I grew up expecting to be a millionaire, but, we're not there yet. So expected goals means very little to me. Suddenly I miss Sidden. Where is he, man? Where is he? But listen, I give him credit. That front three, we spoke about it before. The day before, I said, listen, this is the front three I want, but there's no way he's going to do it. And fair play to him, he did it. There was a rumour Saturday morning that Nketiah was injured. And then in the end, Nketiah was on the bench and came on. So I don't think Nketiah was injured. I think that was genuinely a tactical change. And I think he got it spot on. And what worked about it was Martinelli and Trossard were interchanging. There was times Martinelli was up front. There was times Trossard was up front. And for me, looking ahead to that Everton game, I would be picking the same front three against Everton. Because what you have, I actually think at times I would have liked to have seen Martinelli through the middle and Trossard on the left, because that's where the goal came from. Great creativity from Trossard and a brilliant finish from Martinelli. I think Martinelli is a better player when he's got less time to think, when he plays off instinct. You look at that goal, through ball, lift your head up, slot it, goal, game over. Instinctive player. So fair play to Mikel Arteta. I'll give him his flowers when it's due. And he picked the right team for this game, and we managed to win the game. Big up my bro Hakeem. Trossard looks better than Eddie up front. Link-up play is quality. I mean, you look at that game. He scores one of the goals of the season, which is disallowed, unfortunately. Brilliant finish. And that, for me, is up there as the best assist of the season. Step over, nutmeg. I mean, unbelievable assist. So, Trossard is serious. We need to understand this guy is a serious talent. Nearly every time he's played, he's looked like he's going to either score or create a goal. So, anyway, let's get into the player ratings quickly. Aaron Ramsdale, listen, all I can give him is 6 out of 10. Right? I can't mark him down. I can't mark him up. He didn't have a save to make in the whole game. Took a couple of crosses, kicked it well, had nothing to do. He could have brought a sleeping bag and put it in that penalty area. He didn't have nothing to do. Easiest game of his life. 6 out of 10 for Ramsdale. Who, by the way, Arsenal apparently are looking to extend his contract with a pay rise, so fair play to him. He gets a 6 just for putting his gloves on. He had nothing to do. That's a good comment. Trossard could be our Jota. That's a good point, that. He definitely didn't need the Red Bulls. That was the easiest game. He gets a 6 out of 10. Nothing for him to do. Let's go to the defence. So why 6, Curtis? It should be a 5. This is my theory. I think that 6 is average, not 5. Some people say 5 is the average performance. I think an average performance is a 6. So I'm not going to mark him up or mark him down. So don't go anywhere. Let's go to the fullbacks. Ben White. Do you know what? It's hard for me to rate a lot of our defenders because they didn't hardly have anything to do. But we kept a clean sheet. So I'm going to give Ben White a 7. The The only thing, man, he grabbed the goalkeeper's arm. I do think the referee was probably right to disallow that goal. He didn't need to do it. He didn't. The keeper was poor with the punch. Denied Trossard one of the best goals of the season. I'm going to give him a 6.5 for that. I think it's an unnecessary pull on the goalkeeper. 6 is average rating. Yeah, man. 6 equals 60%, which is a grade C average. Tell him, man. Bring out the stats. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I thought he got forward all right. But I mark him down a little bit just for the pull on the goalkeeper, man. It denied Trossard a great goal. Alexander Zinchenko, captain for the day. I suppose it would have been an emotional day for him. A lot of things going off in his country. Yeah, it was a little bit soft, the penalty. But, you know, in VAR slow motion, things look worse. I'm going to give Zinchenko a 7. I thought he led the team well. Leicester away is a game that you can lose. He kept the ball well. He was tidy. Nobody troubled him going forward. And I'm going to give him a 7 for Zinny. And I love the celebrations as well. He celebrates with a lot of passion. He was much better on the ball, I thought, this time. So I give him a 7. Although Zach said he wasn't great again, he gives him a 6. South London's Finest said controlled game 7, smart cookie 7. Just quickly on this, Dino said Ben White has been great earlier in the season, but that brother has become a bit annoying now. The man's annoyed, don't know where his head's at. Where's your head at now? Where's your head at? Yo, Ben White, can I just ask one question? Have you ever seen a fullback that gets substituted every game? I genuinely have never seen that in my life. How often does Ben White finish 90 minutes? It hardly ever happens. I don't get it. But it is what it is. Let's go to the centre-backs. I'll start with Saliba. I thought both centre-backs had really good games. Make no mistake about it. Was they troubled much? No. But sometimes as a player, you know, it's harder when you have very little to do. And then you do have something to do because your concentration levels have to be very high. I'm going to give William Saliba 8 out of 10. I thought he was excellent. Won his headers, kept the ball well. I've been critical of him in recent weeks. I don't think he's looked quite as good since the World Cup. I've said how many games in a row of them two, only one of them seems to play well and the other one doesn't. I thought Saliba was quality. Solid performance. I give Saliba an 8 out of 10. Let's go to his centre-back partner. For me, I would probably give him man of the match. 9 out of 10. Since the World Cup, he's been our best defender. And he's cut the mistakes out of his game. He's maturing. He's winning his headers. Great leadership skills. When you know that Arsenal are disliked by the press, all you've got to do is look at the report that they put out after the game on Saturday. They made it headline news that Gabriel and Saliba, according to them, they had an altercation after the game. An altercation, you know, which sounds like they're having a fight. But when they zoomed in on the video on the Arsenal YouTube channel, they're both smiling and laughing at each other and pushing each other. You need to understand how things go on a football pitch. They do not want Arsenal to win the league. Let me tell you that. Nobody outside of the Arsenal fan base wants Arsenal to win the Premier League. They do not like us. They've had an altercation after the game. It's all kicking off. They're pushing each other and laughing and hugging each other, bro. Relax yourself. Gabriel, superb. He's got to be close to getting in that Brazil team soon. 9 out of 10, man of the match for me. Fantastic performance. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's very easy sometimes to overlook defenders. We all love attacking players. I'm the same. I'll always overhype an attacking performance. But we have to appreciate there's still two reasonably young centre-backs. Centre-backs probably don't reach their best till they're about 30, 28, 30. Really impressed with Gabriel. 9 out of 10. Dennis is a Liverpool fan. Fair enough. There are some fans who say, listen, I do want you to win it. Don't want Man City to win it. But I think in the media, they don't want Arsenal to win it, is what I would say. But it is what it is. They say without haters, there's no success. Success breeds hate, people. They didn't hate us when we finished 8th. I'd rather be hated top of the league than liked 8th in the league any day. So, yeah, we'll leave them all to cry over us. Let's get into the midfield 3. Going to start with Jorginho again. I thought he was brilliant again. Thought he was brilliant. There will be bigger tests for him. I think the issue with Jorginho will be when we're on the back foot. And we've got physicality and pace and power running at us. But in games where we control the ball, he will be very effective. I thought he had a brilliant game. I would probably give him an 8.5. I thought he was really good. Jam, do you know what it is with me? Because I'm getting this a lot. Jorginho, eat your humble pie. I'm like, do you know what? I'm more than prepared to eat the humble pie. The pie's going in the oven, but I want to see more. We haven't won the league yet. We've still got to go to Manchester City. We've still got to go to Liverpool. Still got to go to Newcastle. These are the key games. Last year, it looked like we were going to get top 4, but we crumbled at the end when it really mattered. So I wouldn't say I'm eating humble pie yet, but certainly it's being prepared. The oven's on preheat, yeah? So no problem. You know me, people. I'll hand out the flowers where necessary. But I would say there's bigger hurdles to overcome. But he's quality on the ball. I'm going to be totally honest. He's better on the ball than I thought he was. I think the way Chelsea play football, we never really got to see the very best of him at Chelsea. And sort of, I always felt at Chelsea he won the ball and just kept it simple. I think at Arsenal he's a little bit more progressive with his passing and definitely done well. And quality on the ball. Classy player on the ball, that is for sure. And as I said, if Partey returns on Wednesday, it should not be Jorginho, in my opinion, who makes way. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. Dewsbury Hall got away from him 2 or 3 times, Big C, so you're bringing it down to a 7. Fair enough. Roman said the train's pulling in, thinking of jumping over the barrier. The oven's on and warming up. Love these analogies. You know how it goes, man. You know how it goes. When we control the game, Jorginho is key. Spot on. Let's talk about Granit Xhaka, who... Granit, for me, you know, when I was thinking about the player ratings of this game, I was a bit confused with Granit. I was like, he played okay. He didn't get booked, which is always a positive, but I don't think he did that much wrong or that much right, really. So I'd say it was an average performance. Maybe a little bit above average. I may have got it wrong. I just think 6.5, maybe. I feel a bit harsh giving him a 6. Maybe 6.5 for Granit. 6, 6.5, 7, 6.5. Granit needs to be dropped, some people saying. 6.5, 6, 6. I've been kind and given him a 0.5. I can't really remember him doing much. For me, and I agree with what you just said there, he's having his best season at Arsenal. No doubt about that. Deserves credit. But I still think Arsenal should be upgrading that number 8 position in the summer. And we're going to talk about a potential upgrade shortly. Martin Odegaard, who wasn't captain of this game. I thought he was okay. I don't think he was great again. He's been substituted the last few games, which again, Odegaard is a player that the manager doesn't like taking off. So when he takes him off, it wasn't at his best. But one thing that I would say was a little bit harsh with him was he plays a great little through ball into Martinelli. Martinelli lays it across to Saka and that's a goal, but it's offside. So I'm not sure with Odegaard's performance. I'm thinking probably a 6 as well for Odegaard. I don't think he was great. I feel he wasn't influencing the game enough. A couple of times he could have shot and didn't. Some of you giving him a 5, 3.5, 6. Mo Invisible first half, 6. I'm giving him a 6. His work rate's always high. You know, that's no doubt. Guled said 5, Silla 7, Arab gives him a 6. Let's go into the front 3. Again, this is interesting where Saka, let's start with Saka. Saka again for me was lively, but I don't think his end product was great. But one thing, the thing I love about Saka is even when Saka's not doing much, he's dangerous. He gets the ball, they double up on him, they kick him. He should have had a penalty. You know, they pulled him down. That's a stonewall penalty for me. But I don't think it was his best performance. I probably would give him... I'd probably give him a 6.5. I mean, Sadiq saying star boy. Yeah, star boy, but I don't think it was a great performance from him. It wasn't a bad performance, but he definitely didn't cause that many problems, really. Can't remember him having many shots on target or anything. Probably a 6.5 for Saka. Should have got a penalty, no doubt, and maybe would have given him a higher rating. James said, who are you choosing, Latoro or ASM? ASM, am I going mad here? Who is ASM, people? Am I actually going crazy here? It's Monday, it's early in the week. Who is ASM? You're going to say it and I'm going to be like, oh my days, it's so obvious, but it's early in the week. I'm tired. Let me warm up. I can't even think who ASM is. Someone let me know. Who is... Oh, Saint Maximum. Oh, come on. Come on. I don't want Saint Maximum. I don't really like any of those two players. I don't like Latoro either. I watched him in the World Cup. He stunk out the place. He's lightweight. And I don't want that Gucci headband hype merchant either. He's got no end product. He's got no end product, that guy. I don't want any of them. So I rather avoid both of them. I take the striker if necessary, Latoro, but I don't rate any of them. Let's go with the front two or the rotating front two. Let's start with Gabriel Martinelli. First off, I'd say I was looking at him like, yo, bro, you might need to come off. But second half, in all fairness, takes his goal brilliantly well. Unfortunate not to get the assist for Saka. He was about a millimetre offside. So I'm going to push him up to... scored the winning goal. I'm going to give him 7.5. I'm going to give him a 7.5 because if you score the winning goal as an attacking player, you had a good game in my opinion. Yeah, how'd you get on? Yeah, 1-1-0. Did you score? Yeah, I scored the winner. All right, you played great in my eyes. Simple as that. Goals win games. Games are vital to be won. And that goal is vital. So I'm giving him a 7.5. I thought he improved second half. I do stand by what I said at half time, though. I know it happened at the very worst time because, 80 seconds later he scored. He has to play the game at different tempos. He has to start lifting his head. You can't always just get the ball, put your head down and run. It's too predictable if you do that. So I give him a 7.5, but we need more of what happened second half than what happened first half. But fair play, he's joint top goal scorer for the club, so it's important. Leandro Trossard. I mean, if that goal would have counted, he wins man of the match. It's as simple as that. The assist is pure magic. It's pure magic. Step over nutmeg. I thought he did really well in the false nine role. Not easy. Two big centre-backs. 10 players behind the ball. Should have had a goal and an assist. Unfortunately, the goal doesn't count. So, I can't overhype a goal that didn't happen. So, Trossard gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Maybe an 8.5, I might even give him an 8.5 for the assist. It's one of the best assists I've seen this season. So, he gets an 8.5. Nimbo said he's man of the match for him. If the goal would have counted, there's no doubt he's man of the match, but it didn't count. So I got to go with Gabriel Magalhaes, who I thought was brilliant. But the assist, I'm here for that. I'm sorry. I'm here for that. Them kind of dirty nutmegs, I'm here for that. I need to see that kind of silk, that kind of je ne sais quoi, that kind of va-va-voom. I love that. I'm a skill merchant. So when you nutmeg people like that and it leads to a goal, you're getting high ratings on this channel. 8.5. Bossard, put in a good shift. And I think that front three should remain going into Wednesday's game against Everton, people. So happy with that. Let's quickly talk about the subs. I mean, no sub really made a major impact on the game. Eddie came on. 20 minutes to go. 6 out of 10. Ran around a lot. Partey came on for 5 minutes. 6 minutes, sorry. And Tomiyasu came on in time added on. So no real ratings for those guys. Not in a disrespectful way. Just an average 6. Mikel Arteta. I'm going to give Mikel Arteta 8 out of 10. I thought he did well. For him to drop Eddie Nketiah, I'm still shell-shocked now, to be honest. like I said, when I read that he was injured, I thought, okay, he's been forced into it. But he actually dropped Eddie, and I think that was the right thing to do. I don't want to disregard the work that Eddie's put in since coming into the team, because he has done well. But ultimately, the last few weeks, he's started to fade, and I credit the manager for being strong enough to... I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10, actually. It's not easy to discipline your own child. And I'm convinced Eddie is his stepson. Abdullah said, I sense you are starting to like Mikel. Let me just say something. And I always say this. People think with me sometimes that when I'm critical of a player or critical of the manager, that I have some sort of, agenda, or you've got an agenda against Mikel. No agenda, bro. No agenda. I am shameless. On this channel. We embrace it. I've done multiple shows saying get rid of this manager. And now I'm celebrating what he's doing as manager, because the reality is, as a fan, you want the best for your football club. If a manager's struggling, why am I going to like what that manager's doing? To me, it's just pretty straightforward. If you're a bad player, I'm not going to enjoy watching you play. And if you're a good player, I'm probably going to really enjoy watching you play. It ain't rocket science, There's no rocket science behind it. I felt there was times he wasn't managing this club good enough, and I didn't think he should have stayed in the job. And now he's doing a great job. Some people would say that's glory hunting, But it's Cone Man music business over here to the world and back, people. The cones have definitely upgraded, man. The cones have definitely upgraded. But Curtis, Chelsea fans love Graham Potter. Oh, I love Graham Potter, man. I love what Graham Potter's doing. I call him Harry Potter because he's a magician. He's made £500 million disappear out of Todd Bowley's pocket. That deserves a whole lot of respect from me. I call him Harry Potter. Potter in, people. Keep Potter in. That's all I'm saying. Keep Potter in that club. But yeah, listen, as I was just saying, I like what Mikel Arteta is doing, 100%. I wouldn't want to get rid of him now. What I will say is I really hope we achieve something big at the end of this season. I hope that at the start of the season, if you said Arsenal finish second and don't win a trophy, I would have said, give me that. Give me that season. I take that all day long. I feel like this season needs to end with a trophy. The Premier League is the ultimate dream. Worst case scenario, if we fall just short of Man City, win that Europa League. We haven't won a European trophy in over 25 years. So for me, that would be huge if we could win a trophy. We have to win a trophy. But yeah, Graham Potter, man, legend. Absolute legend in my eyes, mate. He's made 500 million disappear down the drain. He can't do anything with all them players. Danny said we must win the Premier League. For me, I just don't think we'll have a bigger opportunity than this in a long, long time. It's all right talking about building and this, but I think teams will get better next season. I know we will get better, but I think Man United, if that Qatari takeover happens, are a major problem next year. Man City will get stronger. I think they're going to have a big clear out in the summer. So listen, it was a massive, massive victory. Leicester away is a ground that we've struggled at over the years. And man said he comes from Jamaica. He loves Arteta. Yo, relax yourself. Mikel, man, lead us to glory, my friend. Lead us to glory. So we can eat the waffles live on stream. Mukbang settings, people. Listen, it was a vitally important result for Arsenal. That is for sure. Leicester, they were terrible, but we just got to concentrate on us. We made them look terrible. We're only 2 points clear again. Man City, of course, slapped up Bournemouth. Expected it to happen, and it did. The good thing is we play Bournemouth on Saturday, and I'd expect us to beat them quite comfortably. Manchester City, we have the game in hand. If we beat Everton, that's 5 points on the same games. That gives us that one game cushion that we can lose a game, but obviously we don't want to lose a game. But at least we have the opportunity to have at least one game to spare in terms of points. We play Everton. Man said Graham Potter and the Prisoners of Stamford Bridge by J.K. Bowley. Yo, make a book, man. Make a book. I'm telling you. They're being held hostage. Sterling, Mudryk, João Felix, even Enzo looks trash for them. Chelsea, man, I'm telling you. They didn't know what they had with Thomas Tuchel, I'm telling you. They did not know what they had. That brother delivered the Champions League. And these man just binned him. That's like getting rid of your new iPhone and getting a Nokia 402 out of the bag. Like, yeah, I get it, but nah, it ain't going to work no more. That phone ain't going to be as enjoyable as it was all them years ago playing snakes on the back of the bus. You know, you need some internet and WhatsApp. It can't run. You don't get rid of Thomas Tuchel and bring in Graham Potter, man. Relax yourself. He's a Champions League winner. But anyway, let me not talk about their problems. Big up Justin Franco for becoming a member. We'll do another member stream next week, people. Really enjoyable one last week, so make sure you get involved. João Felix was cussing Mason Mount. Told you, man, that hype merchant, pace and pound. But listen, let's just quickly look at Arsenal's next few fixtures as we go towards the international break. This is our fixtures. I think that's the last game before the international break. 19th, yeah. So this is our fixtures up until the international break on the 19th of March. So we play Everton on Wednesday night. And I don't like to start predicting games, but I am going to predict games. Everton on Wednesday at home. Bournemouth on Saturday at home. 6 points. And I'll be honest, I'm expecting 2 comfortable victories. I know people say you lost to Everton the other week, but I'm sorry. Everton, they caught us on a good day. It was new manager bounce. They just got beat by Villa at home. Fans were booing. They were terrible. Calvert-Lewin is doubtful for the game. That means Mopé up front. I'm expecting 2 fairly comfortable victories. I've got to be honest. I would expect Bournemouth on Saturday to be a bit of a beatdown, if I'm being honest. I'd be expecting 3 or 4-0 against Bournemouth. An opportunity for players to get their goals. And even Everton, I don't think Everton can put that performance in at the Emirates that they did to us at Goodison. So I'm expecting 2 wins there, especially if Calvert-Lewin isn't playing. And put some pressure on Manchester City then. We have to keep putting the pressure back on them. Put the pressure on them. Just looking at Manchester City. Man City play midweek as well. So they play, who have they got at the weekend? Manchester City. Man City play Newcastle at home, which, I mean, Newcastle in terms of league position are all right. They were terrible yesterday, but wouldn't be impossible for Newcastle to maybe get a draw. I think City will beat them after the way they played yesterday, but we got to keep asking questions of Man City and hope that they can drop points somewhere else further down the line. Sporting Lisbon next Thursday, away in Lisbon, 5:45 kickoff. We then come back to play Fulham on the Sunday with the Willian derby. Then back to the Emirates against Lisbon and then Crystal Palace. The good thing about that, 4 games out of 6 at the Emirates. So we should be, beating Everton, beating Bournemouth, dealing with Sporting over 2 legs. Palace at home should be a win. Fulham away is a little bit tricky, but they've had a bit of a blip. I would genuinely expect Arsenal to win every league game on that screen right now. And even Lisbon, we should be beating them over 2 legs. So we could go into that international break, hopefully. I know it never works as obvious as this, but in a good position. Let's just have a look at Man City's games up until the international break. So, I mean, they've got Liverpool after the international break. So that's another one that we would pinpoint as drop points. They play Bristol City tomorrow in the FA Cup. They'll win that. Newcastle at home on Saturday and then Palace away. I'm going to be honest. I'm clinging to one of those 2 games to be drop points for Man City. I'm looking at those 2 fixtures and saying I'm expecting a draw or defeat in one of those 2. Especially with a Champions League game on the other side. Palace away can be difficult if Zaha and them man are at it. And Newcastle at home, can they just, stink out the place and get a point? It would be great if we could go into the international break a little bit further away from them. Big up to Saeed for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Get yourself in the member stream next week. Palace away will definitely be tough. Zaha's back in full training. He's been out for 4 weeks. He should be back for that game. Early kickoff versus Newcastle as well. Hopefully they drop points there. So, Yeah, man, definitely looking at that. Kivior, useless signing if he doesn't play. I think he'll play against Sporting Lisbon. I think we'll see him. A lot of people talking about Sambi Lokonga, saying he was Crystal Palace best midfielder against Liverpool. As I was saying the other day, I think Sambi ends up as a Crystal Palace player next season. I think Vieira will probably take him. Drop Odegaard against Everton. Midfield, Jacob, Partey and Jorginho. So you want to go for three orthodox centre mids. We actually finished the game with that midfield on the pitch. So I think Odegaard will play though. 2.1k in the chat already. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe. We are now 590 away from 60k. Can we hit it this week, people? It would be a great achievement. Didn't get a member stream notification. It goes on the community page about an hour before we go live. I will always remind you on this stream as well. Apologies if you missed it. Anyway, let's move on. We won the game. 3-point collecting. Top of the league. Everton on Wednesday. We'll go into more detail about that game tomorrow. We'll have a press conference from Mikel Arteta. We'll look at a potential team lineup and things like that, people. So let's start talking about transfers. There's always lots of transfer news, even outside of the transfer window. So a player we're being linked with today, a player we've spoken about a number of times, that is Milinkovic Savic. So a report going around today, and this one's coming out of the Sun, so I wouldn't look at this one, but there's reports coming directly out of Italy and quotes coming from his agent, which gives me a little bit of hope that there may be some truth in this. His agent says that Arsenal have shown concrete interest and apparently have even verbally made an offer to sign Milinkovic Savic this summer. So let's break him down. The only problem with him, and I honestly didn't know this, Milinkovic Savic is now 28 years of age. He turns 28 today, actually. So happy birthday, Milinkovic Savic, if he becomes a Gooner. 28 years of age, 6'4". He was born in Spain, actually, although obviously represents Serbia. He plays for Lazio. He's been Lazio's captain and has really turned into a very good goal-scoring and creative midfielder over the last few seasons. If you look at some of his stats last year, 11 goals, 11 assists. Man said basically a pensioner. You could get 4 years out of him. 4 goals and 8 assists this season so far. So 12 goal contributions, 22 goal contributions last season. The year before he got 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 goals. His best one was 2017-18 when he got 12 goals. But he's definitely somebody that I think could help this midfield. With him being 28, would it be off-putting for Arsenal? I wouldn't be put off by it personally, especially if you can get him at a cut price. He has a year left on his contract this summer. Lazio have offered him new contracts. They've been rejected. They've admitted that they may have to cash in on him this summer. It's believed they want around 40 to 45 million euros, which equates to around 35 million pounds, which is great business for a player that at one stage people were talking about 80, 90 million pounds for him. So I think he would be a very good player. Let's get a poll up. First poll of the day. Bear in mind that he's 28. And our centre mids are getting old. Let's be real. El Neni, Jorginho, Xhaka 31 and Partey 30 this summer is adding a 28-year-old, somebody who's a little bit too old. I do personally like him as a player and I would take him. Milinkovic Savic for 35 million. Yes or no? Simple. Let me know. Would you take him? I would take him. For 35 million, I think it represents a bargain. Big up Wayne Francis, who said it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, bro. Let me just read the super chat. Big up Snake Eyes. Big up to the community. My last day on assignment in Turkey. Then I get a week off at home, Big C. What did you think of PSG yesterday with Nuno? Big up to you, bro. Snake Eyes is doing great work over there in Turkey, helping victims. So big up to you. I didn't watch the whole game. What I did see of it, I mean, first of all, Mbappe and Messi yesterday. I mean, wow. Just wow. Mbappe in particular. For me, the best player in the world at the moment. Nuno looked lively going forward, playing wing back. His end product wasn't great, but it was very lively. There was a reunion of Arsenal players. You know, Kolasinac, Guendouzi, Alexis Sanchez, and Nuno Tavares. So there was a whole Arsenal connection in that Marseille team. So yeah, man. But PSG were too good for him, obviously. Big up Channel 5 who said it's his birthday. Happy birthday. Milinkovic Savic, one thing I'll say about him, not the quickest, not the most mobile, which is something I think we need in that midfield. I would be happy if we sign Milinkovic Savic and then maybe Declan Rice, who the club are clearly going to go for, whether I would go for him or not, but the club are definitely going to go for him. And I think we need experience and we need players that have played at good levels, seen it and done it. So for me, Milinkovic Savic at 35 million would be a bargain. Albert said we should only buy experienced winners, in my opinion. If we're signing a young player, it needs to be somebody that has a really high ceiling. I think now we've got loads of young players now. Get players that are at the prime of their career. Milinkovic Savic is 28. That's probably his prime as a midfielder. I think between about 27 and 30, you see the best of centre midfielders. So for me, I think it would be a great deal. Jid said I'd prefer McAllister, good player, had a very good World Cup. South London's finest. I would love Gravenberch from Bayern, perfect for the 8 role. There was rumours he could have been available on loan in the summer. Whether they would sell him, I'm not sure. In an ideal world, would get Caicedo plus Rice, Xhaka and Jorginho ain't going anywhere. Omid said Milinkovic Savic is quite mobile. So, okay, maybe when I've seen him, doesn't look overly quick. But maybe he is. I don't watch him every week, that is for sure. Curtis Eye game against Leicester was our oldest first 11 since 2001. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Look at Koulibaly. I mean, he's in his 30s as well, and he plays centre-back. And he's in a team that is dysfunctional at the moment, you know. So I think that's different. Barak said Rice can play as a 6 and an 8. Pratim said Big C, can Sambi make it in Arsenal? Stranger turnarounds have happened. Let's just say that. There's players who I've thought were worse than him who've made it here. So he can, but I just don't think he will. That's my opinion. Channel 5 said, I'm from Ghana. I'm watching you for a very long time and I love your channel. Come on, you Gunners. Big up to you. And hope you have a great birthday. So, Milinkovic Savic being linked with Arsenal today. £35 million. I would take him. Gus said he's actually quite quick. Okay, fair enough. Acceleration 66. Sprint speed 70 in FIFA. I'd take that. I'd take that because I'd say Jorginho and Xhaka probably around 48 sprint speed with 50 acceleration. So Giant Gunner said just checking in. Savage a no-brainer, to be honest. Big up Curtis every time. Big up yourself, bro. Onana is strong, but is he good on the ball? It's one of them. They play well against us, but I don't watch him on a weekly basis. They just lost 2-0 to Villa. Maybe Onana isn't good on a regular basis. So anyway, that's that one. Milinkovic Savic. We will end the poll on that one. I'm pretty sure the majority of you would take him anyway. I don't think it's... maybe you put off by the age. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Regarding Milinkovic Savic. 90% of you say you would take him. 10% of you say no. So I think that's pretty clear. I like him. I think he's got better over the years. Added more goals to his game. He's physical. I would definitely take him. Let's move on anyway, people. Couple more transfer stories. Now, one that I was referring to a lot on the Carabao Cup watch-along yesterday. An interview with NBC Sports. And the interview is here with the man David Ornstein. The Oracle, as many people call him, of Arsenal. And he said in this interview that Arsenal will have targets for the summer. A holding midfielder, probably Declan Rice. Maybe strengthen at fullback, although he doesn't say right or left back. And then he said maybe a centre forward as well, which has caused a lot of excitement, particularly for people like me who really want Arsenal to sign a striker this summer. And now, all of a sudden, we're linked with a striker, or we've discussed potential strikers. And today, there are 2 stories linking Arsenal to strikers. And I want to know your thoughts and opinions on these two strikers that we have been linked with. Quite controversial. Not overly excited by either one of these myself, but we're going to discuss them and let me know your thoughts and opinions. So the first one that we are being linked with today, people, is this man, Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa. It's believed that Mikel Arteta is a big fan of him, and he's a boyhood Arsenal fan, and it's believed that he would be very keen on a move to Arsenal in the summer if we could get him. Now, this one doesn't fill me with excitement. I'm going to be totally honest. He's a decent Premier League striker, as we found out the other day, when, to be fair, he twisted up Saliba and slapped it into the bottom corner. He's 27 years of age. Boyhood fan, so it would mean a lot to him, but for me, doesn't fill me with excitement. 2 years left on his contract. They paid around £32 million for him from Brentford. It's believed he could possibly be available for around 40 to 45 million. England international. For me, not interested. Going to be totally honest. I think he's a decent player. But he's not the player. He's not the level that I'm looking at thinking that's what we need. I'm sorry, I'm not. 27, 40 odd million, not for me. I don't care if he is an Arsenal fan, to be honest. When you look at, like Akeem said, when you look at what Balogun's doing in France, I'd rather give Balogun an opportunity than sign Ollie Watkins. So for me, and I see the general feeling in the chat, I mean, Dwayne said, please not I show speed Watkins, says Dwayne. Thank you for the super chat. 40 to 45 for Watkins. We may as well keep Eddie. I mean, they paid 32 million for him, so they're not going to let him go cheap. Obviously, Emery's there, our former manager. This one would be a no from me. Dre said, Ollie Watkins. Yeah, for me, this offers me no excitement. The problem that we've got, I tell you the problem that we've got, right, is if we are looking for a striker, I think we're looking for what I would call a plan B. Somebody that comes in and plays if Jesus doesn't, or maybe plays and Jesus moves to the left or the right, or maybe they play as a two. I don't think Arsenal are going to go and try and buy a Victor Osimhen who would cost 100 million. I don't think they're going to go and look for somebody who's going to cost, you know, a fortune. I think they're going to go for somebody 30, 40 million that can maybe sit on the bench and be used in rotation, which means I don't think we will sign a top quality striker, which is a shame. Shane said De Jong, him next to Odegaard would be insane. Very good player. Been linked with moves. He's on over 300 grand a week, though. That's the only problem. Dre said as a second option, I'll take him. I think he'll give us that plan B to hit the ball up to him. Shane said we might as well play Balogun. A lot of you saying Mitrovic. A lot of you saying Ivan Toney. Listen, you know me. I'm a big fan of Ivan Toney. I would definitely take him. Just depends what happens with his ban. Let's go through the second one that we're being linked with. This, I think, is somebody just absolutely reaching. Former Arsenal player, Olivier Giroud. Being linked with a move to a number of clubs. Apparently Giroud wants to return to the Premier League and would love to move to a London-based club as he still owns a house in London. It's Convenience FC. For me, when I say no chance, I mean absolutely no chance. Forgive me, I'm in my feelings. I'm sorry. He won the Europa League with Chelsea and trolled us. For me, game over. Yeah. It's like when Sonic tries to jump and he can't reach it and he falls. Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, and the game's over, people. Or is that the Mario noise? Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. You know, you try and jump over a ledge and you can't quite reach it and he misses the coins and he goes down. It's game over. Mario time. This, for me, is Mario time. Game, set and match. Not interested. Is he a good target man? Yes. Left us and trolled us? Not interested. Go and play for Brentford. If you want to live in London, bro, go and play for West Ham or Crystal Palace. I'm sure he'd be a good player at Palace. Vieira, French connection. That story is very much over for me. He's a free agent this summer. He's being linked with a new contract at Milan, but apparently wants to come back to the Premier League. Absolutely no chance would I bring Giroud back to Arsenal. Not personal, it's business. Leave the feelings. Listen, even if I remove the feelings, right? Even if I'm in my feelings, I'm not trying to sign Giroud at Arsenal, man. Come on. Video game knowledge, I can't believe it. I made the Mario noise talking about Sonic. You know, I don't play games enough no more. Never liked Giroud. Do you know what? I always thought Giroud was a good player. I don't think he suited Arsenal. If you look at Giroud, if you put creative wingers around him, he's very effective. We had 2 goal-scoring wingers, Sanchez and Walcott, who don't necessarily cross the ball that much. He went to Chelsea with Willian, who crosses the ball a lot, and Hazard, who's a creator, and he looked very good. So, Giroud, for me, make him go on, man. Don't bring him back to the Emirates. Leave him. I'm not interested in Olivier Giroud. I'm trying to win titles and Champions Leagues. Go and get Osimhen. You know what I mean? Spend big, man. We shouldn't be signing a player that we got rid of years ago. He's about, I don't even know how old he is. How old is Olivier Giroud? He must be 35, at least. Giroud is 36. He's 37 this year. Come on. Come on, man. Let's not do silly things like that, people. We don't want to start going down that road. I said we have 4 players that we can play striker. We aren't looking at strikers. When Ornstein said forward, he meant a winger. We're wasting our time on this subject. Listen, I think we could go for a striker because I think there'll be movement in the striker department this summer. I'm going to be honest. So, you know, it wasn't specific, but I think we could still look for a striker. I'm telling you. You can't go into the Champions League with Gabby Jesus and Eddie. You can't be one injury away from going to the Bernabeu with Eddie up front. That ain't going to run. You either bring Balogun back or you get somebody else. So I think we will look for a striker, despite what you're saying there. But listen, for me, plenty of good options out there. Ivan Toney, if he doesn't get banned, I would take him. I think Mitrovic is a good plan B. I would love us to sign Osimhen. I think there could still be an opportunity to go back for Vlahovic in the summer. Juventus aren't going to be in the Champions League. They're in financial difficulty. They will have to sell players in the summer. We have Trossard, but again, not an out-and-out striker. I want specialists. You know, if your car breaks down, I don't want someone to turn up who says, listen, I'm a painter and decorator, but occasionally I fix cars. No, I want you to be full-time mechanic. You do this every day. Now fix the car. You know what I mean? And that's what I want with Arsenal. I want a certified striker, a goal scorer. When you look at Arsenal, Arsenal are top of the Premier League. Our top goal scorer has 9 Premier League goals. Manchester City have a striker or a robot who has 26 Premier League goals. Can you imagine if we had a striker that had 17, 18 goals right now? Or we had a striker coming off the bench, physical striker that maybe had chipped in with 10 goals as well. I think we have to look at ways to expand the amount of goals that we score. So I would definitely be looking for a striker in the summer. A lot of people saying that, listen, Eddie being sold would not be out of the question for me in the summer. If somebody was willing to give me decent money for him. He's done well, but I still don't think he's the answer. So we'll see. We'll see, people. Any chance we could get Osimhen? You drop 100 million, you get him. I don't think we're about that life. And it ain't no Klarna layaway business with Napoli. Money up front. Listen, Kane, I would love to do that for more than one reason. Number one, he is a top quality player. Number two, just to do Sol Campbell part 2. He's got 18 months left. I think he'll either sign a new deal in the summer or he'll leave. And I don't think he would come to Arsenal. Eddie isn't levels, if we're being honest, said Andreas. Shane said Ivan Toney is the name, but Mikel would never. Does he have too much personality? You know, I still feel like Arteta doesn't like players who've got that little, you know what I mean, that little chip on their shoulder. But sometimes those players are the best players. And Nelka had that about him. Thierry had that about him, you know. Ian Wright, these players have got crazy belief. They've got attitude. Cristiano Ronaldo, they like that because they know they're good. But our manager can't always get the nice boy, you know, the Odegaard who's never going to give you a problem, because sometimes the best players do have an attitude and an ego. But you need to be able to deal with that. Big up Southern Gooner, rise and shine from across the pond, brother. Consistency will be key from now till the end of the season. That's the key word. It is consistency. We got 14 cup finals. Maybe 12. wins, 11 wins will win us the league, possibly. It depends. We've got some big tests to come. Man City away, Chelsea at home, Liverpool away, Newcastle away. These are the games that we're going to have to get over the finish line. Big C, which do we prioritise next? The centre mid next to Partey, striker or defender. Number one priority for me is centre midfielder. Because Thomas Partey is injury prone and Granit Xhaka, I don't think, should be starting on a weekly basis next year, especially being in the Champions League. So my number one signing this summer for Arsenal is centre midfielder. Go and get a top quality central midfielder to play next to Granit Xhaka. Next to Thomas Partey. Granit Xhaka downgraded to a squad player. That's what we need. That engine room is vital. I agree with Zach. I think we need 2 centre mids. I would like a 6 and a number 8. But I think with El Neni, Jorginho, Xhaka and Partey, I reckon we'll only sign 1 centre mid. I would love to see us sign 2. So we'll see. I think they'll go for Declan Rice. I think that's the one they're really going for. Would you trust any of our players on loan next season? I'm definitely doing a show on this week, Loan Watch. Balogun, I would have a look at him. Patino, maybe you give him pre-season. I'm still not sure whether he's Premier League ready yet. Not many of the others. I think most of the others you sell. Could Pepe come back? I don't think so. I think him and the manager don't vibe. Maybe Ainsley comes back for 1 year as a squad player. I think Pablo Mari's done. I think Cedric's done. Renarsson's done. Austin Trusty, I haven't really seen him. I know he's done all right. I think a lot of the loan players will be sold in the summer. Tavares, I think you've got to take the hype. Marseille love him at the moment. I think you cash in on him. Put a sell-on clause in the contract in case he ever goes somewhere else. I think Sambi leaves as well. Patrick said, Big C, you were talking about us getting an out-and-out striker. Something got me asking, where would Jesus play? How would we line up with a certified? Competition, bro. Competition. I love Gabriel Jesus. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. But let's not cap. Does he score enough goals? That's the one weakness in his game, if we're being totally honest. 5 league goals at the point of injury. Top clubs have competition all over the pitch. Man City have got Julian Alvarez on the bench. He's a World Cup winner. That's how you did. Sancho joined Man United. They had Rashford. They had all. That's it's competition. If you sign an Osimhen and Ivan Toney of Vlahovic, there's 2 strikers. You may play together sometimes. You use it in rotation. And that's it. That's what top clubs have to do. Jesus is not guaranteed that spot. That's the level. Marquinhos, yeah, he might get another chance. He scored at the weekend for Norwich, so fair play to him, and I hope he has a good loan spell there. They could get promoted. South London's finest, like you said yesterday, Big C, Edu should be getting 100 million. Easily getting 100 million. Sambi, 15 to 20, I reckon. Tavares, 15 to 20. There's 30 million already. You get maybe 5 for Pablo Mari. Cedric, maybe 5. Depending on what you do with Balogun, if you do sell him, you should be getting 40 million plus for him at least. He's top goal scorer in France. Second now, Mbappe's gone ahead of him. And these others, Pepe should be 15 to 20. Ainsley should be 10, 15. The club should make 100 million in player sales. Don said, Curtis, I never rated Jesus as a striker. We need better. I think his all-round game is fantastic. I think as a goal scorer, there are limitations. Let's be honest. I think his highest goal tally is 15 in a season playing for Man City. I thought that Jesus was going to score more goals for Arsenal, if I'm being totally honest. But he is a brilliant player. If we plan on playing Tuesdays and Wednesdays next year, we'll need 2 to 3 players in each position. Let them compete. That's what you have to do at the top level. Fight for your place. Keep people hungry. And that's how, you lift the level of the team. The squad players get better. The first team players get better. The Champions League is a different level. So we have to continue to move forward, people. Really appreciate you all tuning in today. Thank you very much. I'll be live on AFTV live at 5 o'clock. So hope to see some of you in the comments. Make sure you spamming C Unit in the comments. As always, really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock again We'll preview the game against Everton, press conference reaction, any little bits of transfer news, injury news. Yeah, I am looking possibly to go Sporting Lisbon away. I am thinking about going to that. I'm just seeing if I can get a ticket for it. So yeah, you may see me over there next week. If not, we'll be on the watch along. See you at 5 on AFTV. If not, I will see you at 2 p.m. tomorrow when we look ahead to the Everton game. Take care, everyone. Bless.